Palacios runs, and that's hit in the air to right field. Renfroe is there, and the Royals win it 3-0. Kamehameha!
They had a lot of tough at-bats, foul balls, deep counts, but his stuff was really good. I mean, he was mid-90s the whole night, held his velocity, really good changeup. Curveball probably wasn't landing it as much as he probably would have liked, but it still had it had the right movement on it. A couple good sliders. He threw a really good cutter there to strike out my drop there in the 4th or 5th. But the stuff was good. Obviously pitch count got up a little higher than we would have liked early. But all things considered, we'll take that.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you so much for joining us. Stephen St. John, Jake Gutierrez, and you, along with former Royals reliever Jaime Bluma. He'll be with us at 6:30. Then at 8 o'clock, former Chiefs wide receiver Mark Borichter. Just after 9, we're going to talk to Annie Rogers from MLB.com. She covers the Red Hot Royals. And then at 9:30, Nick Jacobs, who covers the Chiefs for KSHB 41 and also does a great podcast with Matt Derrick from ChiefsDigest.com, and Nick is an NFL draft specialist, especially when it comes to the Chiefs. So we'll get his thoughts now that rookie minicamp has taken place. We'll get Nick's thoughts on the draft class, any undrafted free agents that he might be interested in, and anything else he wants to talk about. So at the Pack Show. Pack Show with a bunch of people that are looking forward to talking with me and Jake, because we are looking for volunteers. We don't need hostages, baby. Just like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's go. Let's go, Jake! What are you rubbing your face for?
I got them itchy eyes, right?
Yeah. You get bitchy eyes.
Itchy.
Oh.
I almost
I
almost said Richie.
I was going to say, you do. I look up
I
and
got
you
them
do
bitchy
have
eyes.
bitchy eyes once in a while. Like,
Yeah.
That's those bitchy eyes again.
Break.
What a great day I had yesterday out in Maryville. What up, Maryville?
It's a beautiful afternoon.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah. It's a great time of year, man.
Someone did not reapply sunblock like I told her. But, these kids, you can only give them the right advice and information. I got there. That's okay. You know what? She's already looking red. But she was there because Julia took the bus with the team. They had to get there early. I don't need to warm up before the track meet. I was already ready to roll.
You're already feeling good?
Yeah. And so she has a good friend that she hangs out with also on the track team. And I would call her a responsible young lady. And so
good influence.
And so I said, "Hey, I brought some sunblock." She said, "No, we already did it." And I looked at her friend. I go, "Did you guys?" She said, "Oh no, we did." And I helped put it on and made sure she put it on her shoulders and everything. We're good, I said, "Okay." And I said, "How about time to reapply?" And she gave me that look like, "Leave me alone, Dad. I'm in the zone. Don't talk to me anymore." So, but she didn't get too bad. But we had to stop and get some aftercare, some nice aloe with coconut oil, some gel and cream. We all need that, right? I got to, hey, when you got a lot of stuff going on outdoors, you always got to go re-up. Make sure you have the sunblock. Protect yourself in the sun, people. That's the PSA for today. But no, she did. That was maybe her best all-around meet yesterday. She was awesome. She had a personal best in the long jump, personal best in the 100. Finished second in her heat in the 100. Finished third in her heat in the 200 with the 4x100. She was real excited. I was real excited. It was great. And man, what a beautiful setup it was. Like you said, the weather. But what a great facility. What a great field. What a great track they have up in Maryville, at Maryville High School. And I'm all about access and being able to watch. And I have, I'm not allowed, I told you this, right? I have to be, when she's jumping, she can't see me.
No camera.
She can't, well, no,
No filming.
No, she can't. I'm not even supposed to be in sight. I have to find some place to watch her where she can't actively see me. That's not a joke. It's like, if I see you, it'll distract me. It'll mess me up. I can't handle that. I go, I'm not even doing anything. So I can't be too close. And so I was up on a hill. I'll show you the selfie. It's pretty funny. Like, there's my daughter down there. But, it was actually a great view. I got some great video of it without her knowing. And then she was happy that I got it because she wanted to look at it later because she did so good. But what a great day. And we went to A&G restaurant like everyone told us to. I mean, overwhelmingly, that was the suggestions from everyone. And we had a nice meal right after the track meet and then drove home to Kansas City, very, very happy and content. It was a wonderful day. And so,
Congrats to Julia.
And congrats to
you.
Congrats to me for getting the cedar plank salmon.
Yeah.
Which
that
was
looked
delicious with some broccoli.
Yeah.
And she had a nice post-track meal of fettuccine Alfredo with chicken.
What kind of soup did you have?
Chicken noodle.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Chicken noodle. They had a choice between poblano, tomato bisque, and chicken noodle. I just felt like, you know what? Chicken noodle, real hard to go wrong. And you know what? We didn't go wrong. We were good.
Tomato bisque.
I know. You know what? Just seemed, I don't know. Chicken noodle sounded good.
Yeah.
For my soul.
Yeah.
Had a few very nice listeners come up and say hello. And so thank you very much for, I like to talk to other parents that are out there nervous like me, watching our kids do things that we can't do.
Let the boy watch.
Right. Why is your dad up on that hill?
Let the boy watch.
What's that weirdo doing? I tell you what, they had me running because she had to jump, and then she had to run, and then jump. She had to run the 100 in the middle of her 4 jumps. And so
In between jumps?
I would go out into the parking lot, around the gate, over to the hill to watch her jump, and then I heard second call for the 100, so I did run down there and say, hey, that was second call, and she didn't hear it. So,
You're welcome.
hovering dad paid off. And so she ran over there. But I couldn't run onto the track and follow her. So my fat ass had to run all the way around.
It's getting your steps in, man.
Oh,
It's good.
I was, man. And I went through the parking lot, went through the back. I already paid. She said, we know, we saw you. Run through there, down there, getting placed for there. She's done with there. She's got to run back and get her 4th jump. I run back there. I said, wait a minute. Someone time me. That's my personal best, I feel like, right now.
You're doing the medley. The dad medley.
Oh, yeah. It was good. I needed, though. It was fun. I loved it. I had a great time. Sue couldn't go because she had to work, and obviously
Track's great, man.
so was at school, and Phil was coming back from his trip to Minnesota to go to the Mall of Americas. But, man, I had so much fun yesterday. It was awesome. So
I ran track my freshman year. It was a lot of fun. Track meets were great.
I had a blast yesterday. And like you said, the weather was just perfect. Just perfect. And then we watched the Royals take care of business against the Chicago White Sox. Man.
How about those Royals, huh?
And look, I get it. The Royals, this is what Lebo has reminded us a million times. The Royals last year, one of the big reasons why they were able to get into the postseason is because they beat up on the Chicago White Sox. Well, good. The Chicago White Sox, insert joke here, are a Major League Baseball team, and they are in the division, and they are on your schedule many times. Beat them. You don't apologize for beating teams that you're better than. Because guess what? If they didn't beat them, we'd be on the show this morning, and Jake would have his bitch eyes, and we would be, or bitchy, whatever, itchy, Richie,
Bitchy.
and we would be angry. Why can't the Royals beat the White Sox? No, you beat the teams you're supposed to. Fatten up your record, because then you have stretches like what you saw when they went on the road and went 2-8, and it wasn't so much fun. It evens out. And so when you have a chance to take advantage of the Colorado Rockies or the Chicago White Sox, you do it.
Punish them.
You know? You do what the Chiefs have done to the AFC West so many times over the past decade. You just beat them up. You take advantage of them because you're better than them.
How you doing?
That's what that's what this is about. I don't care what's going on with the Chicago White Sox franchise. All I care about is that the Royals are better than them, and when they play them, they usually beat them. That's all.
Thank you, my friend.
Because trust me, the Royals will have and have had their absolute hands full when they take on Detroit and when they take on Cleveland and even when they take on Minnesota, but especially Detroit and Cleveland. And who knows, maybe this will decide who wins the division, who beats up on the Chicago White Sox the most, or who slips up against the Chicago White Sox when they shouldn't. Last night, the Royals won 3-0. That's 3-0, 2-0. We're going to look back at the season and see a lot of scores like that. But I'll take it. Cole Reagans only went 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts. 11 strikeouts in 5 innings, 94 pitches. And then in the bullpen, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the good thing about the bullpen was they looked good, and they didn't need Lucas Erceg to do it. Schreiber he's on a heater. He's looked really, really good. All of a sudden, his ERA is down to 1.76, and he had a nice inning with 2 strikeouts. We talked about Steven Cruz, who has been a welcome addition. And you remember the Royals acquired him from the Twins organization in the Michael A. Taylor deal? He hasn't given up a run yet. He has pitched his way into the circle of trust and into high leverage situations. His ERA is 0. That's good for a reliever. I like that. And then Daniel Lynch IV. He continues to be a terrific reliever. A 1.04 ERA. He pitches 1 inning. And is also the beneficiary of a hell of a play by Vinny Pasquantino out in the field.
You are now on the inside of what I like to call circle of trust.
How about that from Vinny? Being able to catch that pop-up and fire it back to first base for the double play. Yeah, look, that he doesn't get that, you never know what could happen. Things can fall apart. You never know. I still like Lynch's chances of getting out of that inning, but that was a nice play, a very nimble play from Vinny Pasquantino. And then Carlos Estevez gets saved number 10 in another really good outing from the bullpen from Schreiber, Cruz, Daniel Lynch IV, and Estevez in support of Cole Reagans. As far as the offense, India had 2 more hits. He's been much better offensively. Bobby Witt Jr. went 2 for 3 with a run scored and a ribby and a walk. He was all over the place. Dude, Michael Garcia again. 1 for 2 with a run scored and a ribby, 2 walks, and 2 more stolen bases. Bobby Witt Jr. had a couple of stolen bases. But, man, Garcia's slash slide now, he's hitting 322, 390, 496. His OPS is right up there with Bobby's. I mean, look, Bobby Witt Jr.'s slash line is 314, 389, 504. Garcia's 322, 390, 496. He actually has a better average and on-base percentage than Bobby Witt Jr. right now. That's how hot Maikel Garcia has been. And again, it's May 6th, right? We're in the first week of May, and he already has 4 multi-hit games in May and 2 multi-stolen base games in May. It's wild. And you heard the highlight there of another clutch hit from Drew Waters. Delivering on a nice ribby opportunity. He was 1 for 3 with a walk. He was on base a couple of times. So he continues to put up solid numbers. Very solid numbers. Especially with what the Royals had to deal with the first month of the season or so from the corner outfielders. Drew Waters continues to be a pleasant surprise getting this amount of playing time. So not much to complain about there last night from the Kansas City Royals as they take care of business against the Chicago White Sox 3-0. And some interesting stuff posted. If you see, if you follow me on X at SSJWHB, Annie Rogers, we'll talk to her about this later. She asked Vinny Pasquantino about that catch, and he brought up a similar play back in 2023 that Javier Baez, when he popped up, and Pasquantino couldn't get to it. And he told her that he's been thinking about that ever since. He said, I've been thinking about it ever since. Here I am, double play. So Vinny, kind of a madman, thinking about that pop fly that he missed back in 2023, but glad he did because redemption was his last night. I don't know, there's something kind of cool about that. There's something a little off about it, but I like it.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, that's a competitor, man.
And she posted the video of it, and he's been thinking about it ever since.
Well, maybe he can let it go now.
Yeah.
It's redemption.
Right. That's exactly right. The Royals have won 3 in a row, 6 of their last 7, 12 of their last 14. And this is crazy. They have 5 shutouts in the last 10 games. They have 5 shutouts in their last 10 games. Think about that for a minute. 5 shutouts in the last 10 games. I mean, wow. What a run. They've held their opponents, as Jack Johnson from Sports Radio 810 posted, they've held their opponents to 2 runs or less in 8 of their last 11 games. And the staff's 5th shutout in their last 10 games.
It's phenomenal. That is phenomenal.
Nick Capel from the Royals posted this. American League teams with 5 shutout wins in a 10-game span in the same season since 2010. You know how many teams have done that? 3. The Texas Rangers did it in July of 2011. The Houston Astros did it in May of 2022. And the Royals just did it right now. You like that? You like that? And Ryan tagged me in this response as he adds the 2022 Houston Astros. The year they did it, they won 106 games and won the World Series. And in 2011, when the Rangers did it, they won 96 games and they went to the World Series.
Nice trend.
Yes? Yes, follow it.
Yeah, we'll take it.
So that's great stuff. How about those Royals, huh? As Carl Peterson once said.
How about those Royals, huh?
Oh, that's right. That's right, Carl. He's right. How about him? I bet he was somewhere in Kansas City enjoying a dirty martini saying that. I don't know why I just said he'd have a dirty martini.
I feel like he's a nice red wine guy.
Sure.
Nice glass of Merlot.
Yeah.
Maybe a nice cab.
No idea why I said dirty martini. I just wanted to. I don't think I've ever said that before. And hey, after last night's victory, the Royals are 20-16, and they're only 2.5 games behind the Tigers and a game behind Cleveland. And most importantly, they have a better record than the New York Yankees. Yes! Like to throw, it's not most important at all. It's probably least important of anything I just said. But it's still important. It's still a fun fact that I like to point out. It's still a note. Because I see here that the Royals have won 3 in a row and the Yankees have lost 3 in a row. And the Royals have 20 wins, and that's more than the Yankees' 19.
Yeah, I think Jazz Chisholm just went on the IL, too.
I don't know. I don't know about all that. Oh, boy. As you hear Jaime Bluma expressing his disappointment.
Very much disappointed.
Yeah, that was genuine.
Sadness.
Right. On that note, we'll break. Let's go. And then you heard fart noise there from Bluma. He's raring to go. He hasn't been on the show in a month of Sundays.
He's ready.
He's got a whole bunch of stuff saved up for you guys. This ought to be good. We'll take a break. It's a good Tuesday morning. Hope everyone had as good of a Monday as I did. Monday was awesome. Cinco de Mayo was awesome. Even though I did nothing to celebrate Cinco de Mayo except enjoy a track. Well, you know what? The track meet's doing,
Yeah. It's a party.
I listened to a lot of Freddie Fender on the way up to Maryville. That counts, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
It was a one-man fiesta. And then later on that night, a one-man siesta. So it was good. We'll take a break. Back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHP. What is up, my friends? This is Stephen St. John here for Amini's. You know that it's the final days of Amini's Beat the Terrace Memorial Day sale, so don't miss out. Right now, you can get what you always wanted for your home. Save big on outdoor furniture, pinball, arcade games, theater seating, bar stools, saunas, and so much more. Amini's has huge in-stock inventory and immediate delivery. Everything you need is at the store. You can also take advantage of 72-month, no-interest financing. I shop at Amini's for my family, and let me tell you, there's never been a better time than right now to go to Amini's. You gotta hurry up, though. The sale ends May 26th. So check out Amini's in person, just off 105th and Metcalf, or you can check them out online at aminis.com. And don't forget, you can get up to 72-month no-interest financing, and these deals will not last. Amini's, 105th and Metcalf, or online at aminis.com, and please tell them SSJ sent you.
Gonna hit the road, start looking for the hitting that long white line. Well, I woke up, my baby was gone without her.
Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. Stephen St. John and Jake Gutierrez now joined by former Royals reliever Jaime Bluma. When's the last time you've been on the show?
It's been a minute. I haven't really talked to you guys since I saw you at the Boddicker Bourbon Raffle. Was kind of the last.
3 weeks.
Has been 3 weeks.
Missed 3 episodes.
Ouch. Sorry.
Hey,
That's all good, man. You had a good reason.
Yeah. These
That's
are
as good as reason as I'll ever have for missing the show. to
Those
be
are
honest with you.
excused absences.
Right.
Tell people where you were.
Emily and I finally went on our honeymoon. We did Australia and New Zealand.
You know what that means now?
Man, that's something.
Honeymoon's over.
Honeymoon is over. Back to the grind. Ish. Back to golf tournament Mondays is what that means. But
So, which one was better, Australia or New Zealand?
I don't think I can say one was better than the other. I wish the weather would have been a little bit better in New Zealand,
Right.
just because it's turning to fall there. So it was a little rainy and a little bit chilly, but just how beautiful New Zealand is. I mean, we could have spent easily all 2 weeks
Right.
doing New Zealand.
That's definitely a bucket lister for me.
Oh my God, man! Just driving around the countryside
Yeah.
is amazing. I mean, everybody talks about Lord of the Rings, and I'm not a big hobbiter or anything like that,
Yeah, that's
but I get it.
You're a wizard.
Yeah, Emily, as you well know, with the kayaking and the hiking and all the things she's done, she's not a sit idly on her hands and at a resort and drink and hang out. That's not what we're doing.
Yeah, feet are not in the sand.
No.
Tell me-
No,
wait,
we
wait,
did.
wait.
Now we did some of that in Australia because
before we tell me more about Lord of the Rings.
I wish. That
What did he say? He's not a big. I've been
Not a big
hobbiter.
hobbiter.
So that's what
I've
it's
never
called.
seen any of them either, so I don't know. But he just said I'm not a big hobbiter. Is that a thing? Or
That's what it's called. So
you're a hobbiter.
correct, because it's Hobbit Town and all
Okay.
the stuff. If you want to go over there, and we
Hobbit
talked
Town?
about walking about,
Yeah,
watching all episodes on the flight over because you have time, because the flight is so long. But we did not.
I have not seen the trilogy, but I'd like to go to some place called Hobbit Town.
There's two. So there's 2 trilogies. There's the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and then there's the Hobbit trilogy.
Correct.
I haven't seen either one of them.
The Hobbit was first, and I read.
They
that.
were big when they were books when I was a child.
Yeah,
I
sure.
didn't.
When I was
really
growing up,
haven't gotten
that's
into
like one of the
movies.
few books I read as a kid. Was the Hobbit.
There was
Okay,
that was
qualifies.
that.
That's
and
one of the few books I read.
I mean, I didn't read many. Catcher in the Rye and the Hobbit.
one of the few books that I
Very
was not
similar,
forced to read. Correct. So when we first got to Australia, we flew to Sydney from L.A., and then we immediately got on another flight and went to Cairns up north. So we were by the Great Barrier Reef. So we actually stayed in Port Douglas for 3 nights at a resort, and then so we got to do a little bit of feet in the sand and all that there. And then Emily had booked us a night where we went out to Green Island, which is its own island right on the Great Barrier Reef, so you could snorkel. And I mean, we snorkeled, and there was a shark. There were sharks from me to Jake in the water. I mean, I'm scared to
I'm
death, the
gonna pass
heights
on that
and
deal,
all that
buddy.
kind of stuff, but I had no
Sorry.
problem with that. I mean, they're gray nurse sharks or black. They're not.
You could take it.
Yeah.
I'd much rather do that than try to walk over some bridge over a gorge, which I couldn't physically do. So, so we hiked to a couple waterfalls and did all that, and then we went from there to Christchurch on the South Island of New Zealand. Then we had a couple things going there. We hiked to another waterfall. We hiked to a penguin reserve on Flea Bay in Kaikoura, which was amazing. But there's where the weather got a little bit. We were supposed to have a fishing charter, but the weather, we didn't want to spend the whole half day throwing up.
mean, who does?
On the rough seas, right? So that got
used to.
canceled. Then I tried to rebook one of those when we got to Auckland. And then I've been lucky enough to get to go overseas and do a ton of stuff, baseball, softball, all over the world. So a friend of mine, Craig Wallace, actually runs the New Zealand national softball program. I was able to hook up with him in Wellington. When you took a ferry from the South Island to the North Island, one of the mornings it was beautiful, about a 3-hour ferry over, and then met his wife for lunch in Wellington, and then hung out there in Wellington for a little while for the day, and then we spent 3 more days in Auckland, and then we finished the trip in
So how
Sydney.
long was the whole trip?
We were gone for 2 weeks. So,
See that?
and the cool thing was, and you see all the iconic pictures of the Opera House in Sydney, and right there, that's where we spent the last day, and we got to go to the fish market right there in Sydney downtown, and then we went to an aquarium down there and sat and had a drink, looking over the Opera House over the water. It was cool.
I think of all the things that you said there, the most difficult thing for me would be gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever been anywhere for 2 weeks. That would be a lot.
2 weeks is a long time, and
Yeah.
and we did. And so one of the tough things, and Emily drove most of the time. Well, you're on the wrong side of the car, on the wrong side of the road.
Right.
So that was, I'm not the best rider. So she was tired of driving, but
What was your favorite thing that you ate?
I mean, I'm a big oysters on the half shell guy. So at the Sydney market, man, there was 10 different kinds of oysters. We could have spent, 2 or 3 different
That's
days
good.
going through all that. And I'm not the biggest seafood guy, but I do like octopus. They had some scallops that they baked in the shell with cheese. And
Scallops
oh my
are one of my
God,
favorites
man,
right there.
It was so
Now.
good.
That sounds wonderful.
We had some wonderful food in New Zealand as well. And it's funny, and just the way that they do, excuse me, they do breakfast. With their breakfast, it's always grilled or baked tomatoes with sautéed mushrooms and beans, baked beans. That's just part of their breakfast over there.
Did you have yourself a Vegemite sandwich?
It's funny, we tried it the first day because it's there.
How
God,
was
is
it?
that awful.
Yeah, right.
It's so terrible. There was another one. There's Vegemite, and then there's another one, too. I can't remember what it was.
did Vegemite taste like?
It tastes like, I don't even know what to compare it to. Almost like just mushy ash from an ashtray.
Wow.
It's gross. I don't even know what it is. I had to look it up to see what it is, the remnants of of something. Vegemite.
What was your favorite activity?
I enjoyed the snorkeling. I couldn't remember the last time that I'd gotten to go snorkel that I, remembered seeing all the amazing, the fish and the sea anemones and all that stuff. That was cool. That was really good. And the island we stayed at, it was cool because most of the people were day trippers. So about 4 o'clock, everybody kind of disappears from the island, and there's only like 40 of you left on the island. So we had a nice dinner there on the island, and then got to enjoy the sunset. And then they give you a big flashlight, and you go out by the jetty, out by the pier, and you can shoot that in the water and see all the big sharks and the sea turtles, and just amazing Great Barrier Reef. You don't realize until you go back and look on a map, one, how big the Great Barrier Reef is, like 125 miles worth, and where you're at in the world. I mean, that's not a big flight to get over. It's weird flying back, too, because we left Sydney at 10:30 a.m. Tuesday morning, and you fly for 15 hours, and you get to L.A., and it's Tuesday morning again at 7 o'clock a.m. So you somehow fly 15 hours and gained 3.
Were you able to monitor the Royals while you were going?
I did. Yeah, absolutely. I tried to listen to your guys' show. I mean, it's 17 hours difference when you're in New Zealand, so that made it a little bit tricky. But I was always checking up on scores. I mean, I was worried after that long road trip that we had and we dipped under 500 if we would get back to 500. I think that's something we talked about right before we left. I mean, what's a good showing on this road trip when we did not have a good showing? But to come back and have as good as homestand as we did, and to continue to pitch and do what we've done. I mean, I said it since this season started. You hope that we pitch as good as last year, but the chances of us regressing a little bit since we did pitch so well. But that has not happened. We've continued to pitch our asses off, and now the offense seems to be getting a little bit better. But to go out and throw another shutout. And
5 shutouts in 10 games. How spectacular!
Well, and the
is
whole
that?
Noah Cameron thing. I mean, I was so excited for that kid to be able to do it, and I was actually happier that he got a chance to do it on the road instead of probably being super nervous with a gajillion of his family from St. Joe here, to be able to do it in Tampa and
Steinbrenner Field.
which is it seems to be a lot more exciting down there because that park looks busy and exciting versus when you go play at the Trop and it doesn't look like anybody's there. So in that regard, they've continued to play well. Offense is making. I mean, they've made a bunch of changes. Obviously, MJ Melendez got sent down while I was gone. Drew Waters has continued to do a good job while he's up. Some other guys stepping up in the lineup. Miguel Garcia taking a step forward this year. Bobby Witt's doing what Bobby Witt does. Vinny's starting to heat up a little bit of scare with Salvi in the hip. Felix Fermin, after going 0 for, 10 or 12 to start the year, he's solidified himself in that lineup. So a lot of good things. My thing is dang it, man, Detroit, a lot of their young people that they were hoping that would take a step forward have done that too. And Jackson Jobe and Spencer Torkelson and some of their guys that they were kind of in that make it, break it position too. Not Jobe, but Torkelson for sure, a little bit like MJ Melendez, a highly thought of prospect that hadn't done well. He's really taken a step forward, and A.J. Hinch got those guys working up there. So I think it's going to be a battle till the end of the year, and you said it on the way in. We've got to continue to beat up on the White Sox and the teams that aren't better than us. I mean, we haven't played great this year against, teams that are going to be in the playoffs. So that's the next thing, is we have to play well against the teams that have better records than us and continue to beat the teams that don't.
Miguel Garcia, you mentioned him. We just talked about this. He's got a better batting average and on-base percentage, right? And it's not going to last. Who knows?
Well, maybe it does.
But then Bobby Witt Jr. His OPS is right there in line with him. Not only he's been good, and it's early, small sample size, but it looks like he's taking a gigantic step forward.
It's not that early anymore. I mean, we got a month in. We got 100 at-bats or plus underneath our belt. I mean, he was a guy, talking with Shane Dennis on his show, 92.3, that was kind of a guy that, he's only 25, he's got skills. Let's have him take a step forward. We know he can steal bases, and he's done a good job of that. He's actually gotten thrown out a few more times this year than he had in years past, but he's completely taken a step forward from an offensive standpoint, more power, driving in runs. I mean, that just lengthens our lineup so much better, especially since we've gotten some fresh guys in the outfield to do it. So, I mean, that was the one guy for me that, man, he was in our lineup last year, but, man, he's still young, and to take an opportunity to step forward, and he's really done it. So, I mean, you don't see him hitting 320 for the rest of the year, but, keep him around 300, 350, 400, 450, OPS for the rest of the year. I mean, that's a valuable big league piece for our lineup for the whole year.
He's bringing power.
That too.
All of a sudden.
Not all of a sudden. I mean,
But no, he's
got some juice, man.
He's bringing power.
But I mean, and he plays all over the diamond. I mean, he does a little bit of everything.
You like him at 30? You like him in the outfield better?
Well, he's terrific at third, but yeah, I like him at third. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
I mean, no, but you know what? He can play where you need him. I mean, that's what Matt Quintero likes to do. He likes guys with versatility. So Miguel Garcia is not going to stay in one place, and so I like his ability to play the outfield as well. Get in where you fit in. Depending on the pitcher and what the lineup is or whatever else, you can move him around. But I want him always in the lineup.
I'll ask you this question because I haven't been able to physically see a game or any games in the last 3 weeks on television. How has our outfield defense been with some of those guys playing outfield? India being in the outfield, hasn't played out there a bunch. Obviously, Renfroe out there a little bit.
It's somewhat frightening.
Has it cost us, or has it been
at least
average enough? I know that you love that Jack's playing outfield now. I wish we'd have started that a little bit sooner.
Right.
But he looks like he's been okay out there.
They started it.
They
That's
did.
all that matters.
Well, that's one thing I got to ask Buster a month and a half ago. Like,
Renfroe had a hell of a play on Noah Cameron's start. I mean, he robbed a home run.
Yes, he saved a home run, but he's had some bad plays out there.
He's been bad, but
he hasn't been good enough defensively to justify his shortcomings offensively. But yes, the defense,
because that was the concern
fantastic
for me
in Noah Cameron's start.
they had
In the
some
first
great
couple of
plays.
innings, that thing could have gone a much different
Yeah.
way. But he robbed who was it that almost hit the home? He robbed a home run.
Yep.
Michael Garcia had a really nice play.
Double play.
They started double play. Bobby Wood Jr. I mean, they picked him up.
Junior had a great play.
And then Cameron settled in. But that was one of the things we talked about a lot that next day is a little bit rough start. It could have been a little bit of a rough start, but the defense was spectacular. And then he started to cruise.
Outstanding. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, we play average outfield defense and then do something at the plate, and then we're getting our money's worth out there. I mean, with Renfroe not hitting at all and then not playing great defense, that's not what you want. Drew Waters, do what he keeps doing. I mean, Kyle Isbell's a great outfielder. We need contributions from him, especially. Hey, last night from the 9-hole, we'll take it. Go out there and do that. So we just have to have some contributions from that bottom third, bottom 40% of our lineup, and we're starting to get that at least to some degree, and thank God we've continued to pitch.
All right, Jaime Bluma is in studio. We'll be right back after this on WHP. You know that Hy-Vee is a huge supporter of local brands and products that are made right here in Kansas City. And here's something that they're going to be doing that's really cool to support local companies. Today through Sunday, Hy-Vee is offering fuel saver deals on many of your favorite local products like Belfonte and Zarda and Max Mix and Roastery Coffee, to name just a few. You could stack up those fuel savings and show your love for Kansas City all this week as Hy-Vee highlights local brands and products that are made right here in Kansas City. So if you want to help support some great local companies today through Sunday, you should do it all the time. But be sure to stop by Hy-Vee because they're offering fuel saver deals on many of your favorite local products. So you can stack up on those fuel savings and show all that love for Kansas City all this week only at Hy-Vee. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. How much interaction or how much did you know about Noah Cameron coming up as a St. Joe native out of St. Joe Central and then into Central Arkansas?
A little bit. I mean, just kind of knew of his track record. I mean, obviously another local kid drafted by the Royals out of Central Arkansas. Is not a big powerhouse, but he did well there and was a top 10 draft pick. So not a power guy. So sometimes a crafty lefty cruising his way through the minor leagues and doing his he's not going to get the hype and everything that the first Asa Lacy. Somebody asked me about Asa Lacy yesterday too. I'm like, my God, I haven't heard that name in 2 years and don't know where he is.
Right.
But a guy like
Forever
Cameron, probably
training.
close to the same draft, I would guess.
But
in a 7th rounder, and to come up and
Boddicker loved watching him pitch.
Well,
he was
I love him because
me.
he pitches. He's not a guy that's just going to come try to blow guys away, and he's got a 4-pitch mix, and he does a great job of getting strike one. I mean, that's the guys that we love because you're getting ahead in the count. You hear him talking about it when he was talking about settling down, and he hated it because he walked more in that start than about he had walked in AAA all this entire year already. So, but to be able to do that at a big league start and maneuver your way around trouble and keep out of the barrels of bats and do a great job when you're nervous in your big league start, but be able to go do that. That just tells you the depth excuse me, that we're starting to get in this organization with what we've done with changing everything for our all the different pitching stuff that we're doing in the minor leagues with our lab and all those guys. And that's what we have to be able to do moving forward. We haven't done an amazing job over the last 15, 20 years of developing pitching. So hopefully this is trending upward on what we're going to do when we draft pitchers and can turn guys like 7th rounders, guys a little bit lower in the draft, guys that we find and go out and figure out what they can do. And you get to Noah Cameron, especially because he's a local guy. I mean, we got Kuderna's a guy that we drafted from around here too that's in AA. Some guys moving forward. So I'm excited, man. Plus the depth that we have relievers-wise. We've talked what Cruz has done. Taylor Clark's back up doing some things. We're going to continue to have guys, bounce back and forth between here and Omaha, and we're going to need those guys by the end of the year.
What can you say about 5 shutouts in 10 games for the team?
I mean, I just love that we're continuing to pitch, as well, if not better than we did last year. And it's not just starters. I mean, that's one of the things when I first got back last Wednesday was like, our starters have thrown more innings than anyone else in the major leagues. And I still feel like our guys can go a little bit deeper. When we stay out of long counts early in the game, I feel like Lugo and Waka, with what they bring to the table, depth of stuff-wise, we can have some low-pitch innings because they're not big, huge strikeout guys like Reagans is. And that's why he gets up there in pitch counts, just like yesterday, 94 pitches in 5 innings. Well, he punched out 11. That's not going to be Lugo and Waka and Bubic. So we can continue to get, man, when you get 7 innings out of a starter, that feels like a huge deal because that lets that starter go through the lineup for the 3rd time and to get through that. And I think we can continue to do that. And just love that we've had 5 guys. I mean, Lorenzen's gotten beat up 1 start, and Bubic, I think, has gotten beat up 1 start. But, everybody else has been rock solid.
We've got Jaime Bluma in studio coming up. A little bit later, we'll talk to former Chiefs wide receiver Mark Bobrichter in the 8 o'clock hour. Annie Rogers covers the Royals for MLB.com. She'll be with us at 9:05. Nick Jacobs will talk NFL draft with us, the Chiefs and their draft class, and the aftermath of Chiefs rookie minicamp. Nick will give us his thoughts at 9:30. All that and more between now and 10 o'clock right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. What's up, Kansas City? Stephen St. John here for Window Nation. And Window Nation, they provide windows built to handle Midwest weather. You know what that's like, especially here in Kansas City. Their windows are storm-resistant, energy-efficient, and built to stand the test of time without the hassle of constant maintenance. And right now, you can take advantage of an excellent, and by the way, made in the USA. Window Nation windows made in the USA. And right now, it's their semi-annual sale. Includes 60% off a house full of windows and a free entry door, and no money down, no interest or payments until 2027. But the sale will end soon. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com today. Once again, their semi-annual sale includes 60% off a house full of windows and a free entry door. Can you believe it? And no money down, interest or payments until 2027. But you got to hurry and take advantage of the sale because it ends soon. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com today.